since I acquired these powers, Mighty One, everyone has believed me to be Iomeda's chosen. Why didn't you do anything to dispel this misunderstanding?
At first, I did not know who you were, or where your powers originated. This was revealed to me only when my herald offered up his dying prayer from the depths of the abyss. And following his desperate plea, I sought to confirm my suspicions. Until that point, I had observed you without intervening. After all, your crusade was securing victories, the first Golarion had seen in many years, so even if it was not I who had sent you into battle, it felt unfair to undermine you.
In other words, our Imperial guest had no problem with your power, as long as she didn't know where it came from. She didn't even share her suspicions with her own herald. And after all that, someone dares to claim that demons are the most deceitful creatures?
You should not blame someone else if you base your accusations on vague suspicions rather than solid proof. You call my behavior deceitful. You, of all creatures, who kept the commander ignorant of the fate you had chosen for him? Indeed, the insolence of demons knows no bounds.
A demon lord stands before you. Why do you not just destroy her right here and right now?
I could. But then every other demon lord would decide that he or she was next and stand against me. In response to that, the Imperial lords would take up arms. Then Hell, Heaven, and Elysium would join the conflict. A war would break out, one which mortals could not hope to survive.
Why have you decided to descend to the world of mortals at this particular point?
As I have already said, I am here to open your eyes to Nocticula's lies and to prevent more calamities in the future. You are at a crossroads now. I will not force you to do anything, but you needed to learn the truth and have the chance to cleanse yourself.
Why did Aurelu do everything possible to lead us to the idea that she was a key too?
The impulses that drive a soul as black as hers are beyond my comprehension. Perhaps she was startled by my arrival and decided not to bother keeping a secret that was bound to be revealed. Or perhaps she is up to some cunning scheme. Be on your guard. The architect of the world wound will surely try to bring you down. For if she truly is a key, then it must mean that she will die sooner or later due to the influence of her own horrible creation. And that means that sacrificing you is her only chance of survival.
Please explain it to me again. How exactly can you help me cleanse myself of the influence of the Abyss?
Aurelu has planted a piece of the Abyss itself in your soul. The only thing that can cleanse the soul of such
Okay,
a taint
blah, I've
is that
already
same
heard.
soul.
I have no more questions.
But it is time to make your decision then.
Nocticular, I have some questions for you.
If you have questions, ask away.
Why did you try to hide the fact that closing the world wound would kill me?
Because if I'd told you the truth, you would have refused to do it. But you're not angry with me, are you? After all, everything has worked out perfectly fine. We found another key. So now you can live and enjoy your life. Provided that you catch Aurelu, of course.
Now that we have decided to use Aurelu to close the world wound, do you still want me to keep the powers I acquired from her?
Of course I do. Firstly, you'll need those powers to catch Aurelu and bring her to Threshold. Surely you don't think she'll willingly fall into your hands, and the demonic hordes will politely make way for you. And secondly, the powers Aurelu gave you protect you from dying before your time. None of us want the wound to kill you prematurely. You are extremely useful to me alive. After all, if you let Aurelu slip through your fingers, we can always go back to the original plan for closing the wound.
Deliberately led us to the idea that she was a key too. Why?
Apparently, she understood that her secret was about to be revealed anyway, so she decided to leave in style. What human female over 100 years old wouldn't feel flattered at being the center of attention? although she could have other reasons. She obviously wanted us to understand everything and immediately rush off in pursuit of her. She's probably been preparing for a war of all against all for a long time, and now she wants to wage it on her own terms. Expect treachery and traps wherever you go.
Where could Arilu have fled to?
Now, let's think. She's hidden in the abyss before. She won't dare to return there now. Not only to my realm, but to any other either. Even if Baphomet and Discari both take it upon themselves to guard Arilu personally, that won't stop me from sneaking in, slitting her throat, and leaving undetected. And she knows that. If I were her, I would hide in a place where the powers of her enemies were uncertain, and her own power was close to unlimited. I say you should look for her here, in the World Wound.
Afraid to stand in the presence of the goddess?
Tut tut, how rude! I wouldn't say the girl is that hideous. I admit her face is far from perfect. Her body too, to be honest. But all in all, not bad. I've seen worse.
Your theatrics are too transparent to offend me, demon. At least, they can hardly offend me more than the very fact of your existence.
Do you really plan to use me to become a goddess yourself?
That is nothing but the wild speculation of a little girl who gained celestial power through no merit of her own and now fears that others may do the same, forcing her to share her place in the spotlight. Do I want to become a goddess? Of course I do. Who wouldn't? Can you help me with that? Sadly, no. Of course, Arilu used to blather on about how her brilliant invention could bake gods like pies. But between you and me, the cleverer the inventor, the larger their ego becomes. So far, she hasn't managed to create anything stronger than you. And no offense, but you're no match for any deity.
Elon Musk wants to know your location. The cleverer the inventor, the larger the ego becomes. I have no more questions.
Very well. It's time for you to make your decision then.
I want to ask my companions for advice. What do you think about all this?
Perhaps your power came from the abyss, that your beautiful soul has cleansed it of all evil. Don't reject this power, for you have already proved that you are worthy of it.
Frankly, your mythic power brings more trouble than true pleasure. And I see no sense in holding on to something that doesn't bring pleasure.
Yeah, you are a maniacal mass murderer, so I'm not going to care about your opinion.
Your power doesn't lie in magic tricks. You know it doesn't. Your real power is inside you. You can win without tricks. I will help you.
Maybe I'm missing something here, but how can a demon grant the power of an angel? Listen, if you had no goodness inside, you couldn't have reached Lariel in the caves beneath Canabras. I remember how once, long ago, you showed me the light of heaven. Maybe I didn't believe in you right away, but I believe in you now. You've proven time and again that you deserve the light of heaven. You are my commander, marked by an angel. This power rightfully belongs to you.
As a member of the Order of the God Claw, I ought to advise you to obey the will of the goddess, or at least to take it into consideration. But as your companion, who has spent a lot of time with you, I can't help but notice you have reforged demonic Nahindrian power into angelic power. This is a sign of order triumphing over chaos. Perhaps there is room for maneuver here. That is why I advise you to weigh all the options and to make your own decision.
Wait, what? Red Jill has room for wiggling between principles? Has hell frozen over? Surely the goddess is wrong. I mean, if Red Jill says there is room for maneuver, then room for maneuver there is.
It's not my place to gainsay the will of my goddess, but the thing is, I can sense evil. And I don't sense it in your power at all. I just don't. Whatever those horned monsters had planned for you, you definitely aren't playing by their rules.
You gave hope to the Crusaders in their darkest hour, even when all seemed lost and only despair and death lay ahead. With these powers, you have saved countless lives, and you will save more. Of course you must keep them.
Someone pinch me. We are standing in the presence of the most pompous goddess in the world, debating whether we should listen to her or send her packing along with her invaluable opinions. I shall remember this moment for the rest of my life. Even as I stand in Pharasma's court, I shall tell this story to anyone who will listen. As to your original question, I'll be honest with you. Your power turns my stomach like sour prunes. Reject it, it can't hurt.
Yeah, but only because you accept the power of someone else and it turned out that was a monster and he's busy killing people at night and throwing severed heads into the inventories of your friends, so maybe your opinion on super powerful entities granting you power is a bit tainted.
Experience tells me that it's wiser to trust yourself and your own abilities. You can't trust what clients tell you. One day you're a hero, the next you're working for the enemy. Sorry, but it all looks like a setup to me. First they tell you to lay down your weapons, and then, once you're unarmed, they finish you off in some back alley.
It's quite interesting. Obviously, we can now decide to become a gold dragon or an angel or a legend, but why did we have the option, I am the gold dragon, before? You remember the conversation, right? A couple minutes ago, 1-2 episodes. That's just odd. Why did we have the option to choose something that wasn't even available in the game without modifications? Are the creators of this game expecting modifications? Was that an Easter egg? I don't know.
Your powers are interesting from a theoretical point of view. You are an experiment started by Aurilu Vorlesh, and terminating it before it is complete would be foolish, not to mention impolite.
I have made my decision.
I am waiting for your answer. I hope you will choose wisely.
Quite right. Make your choice, and make it the right one.
You need to choose which mythic path you are going to follow. This choice will greatly affect the following events. However, no matter what your reasons for choosing one of the paths are, be it powers or aesthetic preferences, remember, there are no wrong choices. Your soul got stronger, making your whole existence a miracle. You got new powers that can ascend you beyond the limits of a mortal. So, 2, 4, 5 mythic paths we haven't unlocked. 2 are now not available anymore because we didn't choose them. And we can either become an angel, where we were an angel before, or we could decide to become a legend. One doesn't need to be a mythic creature, an otherworldly being, or a deity's chosen to become a hero. This path may be grueling and full of temptation, but the mortal who treads it fully earns the right to call themselves a true legend. Or we could become a gold dragon. The gold dragon is a mighty, almost omnipotent creature that possesses powers beyond all others. The gold dragon is the embodiment of goodness, hope and redemption. Gold dragon form. You can assume the form of a gold dragon. Perfect body. Gains immunity to poison, disease, fear, confusion, paralysis and sleep. Immune... yeah. Or we could become a mythic hero. Mythic heroes are set apart from their contemporaries. Capable of amazing feats of courage in the face of overwhelming odds. In spite of this, they are still similar in many ways to other adventurers. They have hit points, armor class, saving throws. In fact, most of their statistics are comparable to non-mythic characters of an equal level. A mythic character's differs. This mythic is the special mythic abilities. These abilities enhance mythic characters both in and out of battle, allowing them to take part in extraordinary, larger-than-life adventures. Yeah, of course we're going to continue our angel path. I'm kind of tempted with Gold Dragon. I need to admit that. But right now I want to end this episode as an angel. Because they are right, companions. I mean, at least the ones who talked about it. Even though the power of evil might have been embedded into our soul, we've proven that we were touched by an angel, that we have angelic power, and that we can do good. And this power is needed to close the world wound. I mean, damn. That's a beautiful ornament, this banner. The surrounding, okay. Angel it is. Mythic feet, greater sword of heaven, wings. Okay. Make a choice. 2-weapon fighting. Penalties are reduced by 2. Okay. Greater sword of heaven. What do we have? Guile, healing, poison, bane, grant blessing, guide the fate, no. Heavenly host, you can grant the benefits of your sword of heaven ability to all allies in a 50-foot radius. Oh. Well, that's not bad. Heavenly host it is. Your mission is too important to fall in battle, and your mythic powers let you endure unbelievable things. Yes, once per day when your HP drops below Ankh. Yeah, of course we need that. New spells, what do we have? Critical Wounds Mass, Dome Bolts, Avenger's Blessing, Gale of Life, Storm of Justice, Euphoric Tranquility, Firestorm. Okay. The choice is made. All you have to do is announce it to everyone. Dragon Path. Thank you both for your wise advice, but take a closer look at me and you'll understand that I don't need it. Interesting. Demon Asator Aeon. You sacrificed your own humanity to serve the forces of good, goddess. Do not judge me if I choose to do the same.
It pains me to hear that. But I am not your judge, and I shall not stand in your way. At least not until I see that Golarion is under threat. You have chosen your path. Farewell.
A strange expression. Interesting. So, if we would have chosen Legend, that would have meant that she would have went with us? Like the Inheritor commented on our expedition? A strange expression appears briefly on the luminous face of the goddess, something like amazement mixed with understanding. She nods slowly.
The celestial angel and the goddess of heaven agreed to disagree. Just imagine that. And Darren Arenday has received a double dose of po-faced righteousness.
It would have been so foolish for you to reject your powers. So many victories, so many achievements lie ahead for you. Well, go now. Capture Arilu, and prove which of you is making the best use of her invention. I'll be watching you.
Did I press that button too early? Okay. So now we have angels living in Dresden. Anivia bounds up to you, rubbing her tired eyes, but the wide smile plastered on her face. I can't believe it. Victory! Ah, and what a victory. Light has returned to Dresden, and the demons are running crying back to their demon mummies. Dresden's been lost again and again, but again and again we win it back. You win it back, Commander, for light, for truth, for life. What's the city like now? It's been cleared of demons and it's shining bright as a temple with 1,000 candles. I don't think it looked this good even back when it was first founded. This isn't victory yet. We knocked back the demons, but they could return and continue tormenting the innocent. You betcha. That scum didn't know what they were messing with. What's the situation at the front? Unknown, Her Majesty mustered all the troops she could, raised the Sword of Valor, and advanced on the demons. There's been no word from her since she left. Perhaps she'll boldly taking is even now. Maybe her bones have already been picked clean by demons. We don't know. And I doubt anyone except you will be able to find out. Well, that's not all. Baphomet's minions keep taking swipes at us. The scumbags are holed up somewhere. The Ivory Labyrinth, I'll bet. And they keep opening portals in different spots, dropping off a dozen units and then closing the portal before we can get them to them. We lost more scouts than I'd care to admit before we figured out how they were pulling off that little trick. So here's what I'm thinking. Maybe you could get to one of those portals in time. You could be ready for them somehow, so that when one opens, you get inside and crack some skulls. They might even be holding the poor herald in there. If he's alive, you can free him. How do you feel after seeing the goddess in the flesh? My ears are still ringing from those trumpets. After witnessing that sight, I don't think I could be surprised by anything ever again. You dare to go against the goddess, and she forgave you. My mind can't comprehend it. Erebeth laughs awkwardly. I was worried your impudence would be the death of us all, but now I think you are strong enough to stand against the abyss even without heaven's help. As you heard, I have to catch Arelu. Any idea where I should look for her? Not especially. She's been roaming the abyss all this time, but now that Evan is close to her, Nocticooler and the other demon lords are all slavering for a piece of her. I think she's someplace around here in the wound. Some nasty little place like Ease, or maybe she went as far as Threshold. An army of demons enhanced by Nahindrian crystals was being sent here, being led by a demon named Mutasaphan. Do you know anything about that? Scouts reported the movements of a large demon army far to the southwest of Dresden. They were marching across a dried-out lake. There used to be a Sarkorian holy place there, I heard. But where they went, nobody knows. They are not headed for us, that's for sure, at least not yet. Thank you for the report. I'll be setting off without delay. Go on and fly. Chase the demons away from us. Now I know for sure the 5th Crusade will be the last. It's all over for the fiends. They've finally met an enemy they could never have seen coming. Just do one thing for me. Come back to Dresden if you can. Folks are drawn to your light. Those who left are coming back and new people are arriving. They need someone to tell them what to do. They need someone to show them. They need someone to lead them forward. Reggie looks slightly more tense than usual. Morgraine, I have fairly important news. I will do my best to be brief. The Hell Knight orders have not reacted well to the developments. I mentioned in my latest report specifically regarding the true source of your power. The very notion that we have been cooperating with a weapon forged by Arelo Vorlesh and Nocticooler has caused discontent. The orders have not issued any official edicts, but many chapters and high-ranking knights have been recalled from their assignments and barricaded themselves in one of our outposts. The one you know, in fact. I suggest you go there and resolve the issue between the orders and the Crusaders. This is a matter of importance. What kind of reaction should I expect from the Hell Knights? Any, up to and including a formal declaration of war, which is why you must go to the outpost and resolve the issue before it devolves into open conflict. How could you even think that reporting this to the orders would be a good idea? Do you really think I could withhold this information from my superiors? Do not degrade me or yourself with such a ridiculous suggestion. Very well, I will go there as soon as possible. Excellent, that is all I had to report, so I will return to my duties and you may attend to your other affairs. More grain. The succubus gazes at you. Guys, my goodness, this game is huge. Thousands of dialogues. The succubus gazes at you despondently. She always speaks quietly, but now her voice is a barely audible whisper. I'm not going to whisper. In my dream, a fire destroyed almost everything. The only thing that survived was a table. I've returned to my dream world so many times. The nightmare still lurks there, but I want to understand why this table is so important. Why did it survive the fire? I can't figure out what makes it special. It looks like a simple piece of furniture. It just stands there. What is it supposed to mean? What am I doing wrong? Is your nightmare still attacking you? Not openly. It still lurks in the shadows.